Welcome to Local SEO in 10. This is your go-to podcast for answers about how you can grow your local business online easily and quickly. Brought to you by local SEO experts Magnified Media in Walnut Creek, California. In each 10-minute episode, our digital marketing expert Adam Duran answers your questions on how you can get more leads for your business fast. Remember, if you're not taking care of this part of your business right now, you can bet your competitors are. And now, here's our host with the questions, Jamie Duran, and our expert with the answers, Adam Duran.
Hello, Adam.
Hey, Jamie.
How is your week going?
It's going great. I'm really excited because I'm finally getting over this flu that I've had for a couple weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Why? It's not COVID, though, you're sure?
I took a COVID test. It said negative. So Who knows? It could be.
False positive, false negative.
False negative. But no one else in my family got sick. So just me.
Oh, man.
That's how it usually goes.
Well, sounds like survival of the fittest.
That's right. My wife is like, Iron Woman. I'm going to go run a marathon today.
You are?
No, that's what my wife said. Thank you. She was like, I'll see you in 21 miles.
Oh, my God. That's not a marathon. Hope you let her know.
Oh, boy. It's a marathon in my world.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right.
Today,
what are we talking about?
Yes. Today, I wanted to talk about transitioning to a new marketing agency. So what you need to know if you're going to be changing from one marketing agency to another. You've come to that decision. So I want to give you kind of a short roadmap so that way that transitioning process is done correctly, because definitely there's a wrong way and a right way to do it.
Yeah, just like any kind of transitioning.
Yeah.
Male to female, female to male.
Whatever. Yes. Thank you. All right. So first thing you're going to do, so you've made that decision. Okay, this current agency not going to be your solution moving forward. Check the contract. Okay, so I have seen anywhere from a 5-day cancellation notice all the way to 45 days or sometimes even 6 months. So some agencies will build that into the contract. So when you call and say, hey, we'd like to cancel, they're like, okay, well, you're on the hook for the next 6 months.
Sure.
So you want to make sure that you have, you signed that contract. So you want to make sure that you're following it and understand that once you say that, most likely, in my experience anyway, all work on your account ends. Even though it's 30 days more or 45 days more or 3 months more. Once you tell them no mas, they say no problem. And they charge you for whatever the remainder, and they don't do anything after that. So
well, and you've also said that not only do they do that, but they can go back and undo all of the work that they've ever done.
Yeah, that could happen. So you want to make sure in that contract that you are protected. Okay, so just it should... we're all in business, we're all adults, all that stuff. If they're no longer serving your needs, then just go through the contract, make sure that you follow that end, that ending process. Okay, so that's number one. So
okay.
Check that contract. Number two, you want to request basically usually what a lot of agencies do is an Excel spreadsheet of all of your passwords. All of the passwords, login information that agency has for your business. So they have to have one because they need to log into your accounts and your platforms in order to make changes and updates. So getting that password sheet, number 2 on your priority list. Okay. So that is so important because you need to remember over the whatever 5, 6 or whatever 2 years or 5 years that you've been working with them, you're probably not going to remember what they have had access to. Okay, that password sheet will show you that. Really important.
Well, yeah. What if they're not responsive? They say, what's a password?
Yeah, you're going to have to demand that. And then if they don't respond, then you're going to have to go through all of your accounts. And that'll lead me to number 3. Okay, before you do, that's 3B. 3A you're going to take this chance to create an email address that you as the owner or you as one of the top executives or your executive body has access to. So it could be like whatever, marketing at, yourcompanyname.com. So the reason you want to create that email is because that way, when you get that password sheet, you're going to go through and you're going to replace all of the agency access or all of the previous access with that one company email address that only you and maybe another trusted member has access to. So the more people that have access or the more that access is spread around, the more likely it's going to be breached, or you'll end up not having access to that platform ever again, or it can turn into a real hassle. I know we've taken on clients who their Google listing, the company's been around for 100 years. Their Google listing was made, 10, 15 years ago. And the guy who did it used his own email address and he died. So no one has access or admin access to their Google business profile. And
he had 2,000 Bitcoin in that email, right?
I hope not. But for that company, it means that basically they are locked down to a lower level access to that account. And they're lucky to even have that. That's how crazy that can get. Make sure. So once you get that sheet, once you have that email address, you're going to start going through that sheet. You'll replace all of those login and passwords. Don't use the same password that the old agency knows that you might have used. Okay, use a different one. And just slowly, or within a day's time, just go through and replace all that. Turn on 2-factor authentication on everything. Connect it to your phone. So now when you do that, you're consolidating those accounts. You're making sure that no one else has access to it. You might want to have a backup of this. Somebody that you trust, just in case you pass away, your digital legacy.
Definitely,
yeah. So then while you're doing that, the next thing you're going to do is remove that agency from every account. So don't wait, don't put it on the to-do list. Just once you have, you've confirmed your access, the next step is go through, eliminate or delete their access to everything. So we've had clients come on to us, with us, and then for their Google Ads account, the agency had access to it through a company email address, and that agency or someone at that agency went through and deleted their whole Google Ads, all of them. And this is a company they're paying $10,000, $15,000 a month. So
whoa,
yeah, and no reason to do it. Maybe it's just spite, who knows? But they were lucky that it was just that. So with Google Ads, you can go back and, just say, hey, recover those ads. It's not that big of a deal, but it did cost them because it wasn't noticed. We didn't catch it for 2 weeks. And so that's 2 weeks of ad revenue that they were like, hey, our leads are drying up. And we went in and looked and all the ads are gone.
Whoa.
Why? And then who did this? Hey, Curtis. Who's Curtis? I don't know. That was an email address at our, for the marketing company. Oh,
Curtis in Mumbai. Hello, this is Curtis.
Unknown.
Okay.
But, when that happens, it sucks. But the worst would have been if Curtis had gone in and then locked everybody out. So as an admin, you have the option or the availability of deleting other accounts. So luckily, Curtis didn't do that. So we could recover those things. Next thing is on your website, on the back of your website, you want to make sure that you log into the back of your website, your WordPress site, if it's WordPress, and delete their access. While you're doing that, make sure that when you're looking at the list of users, that whoever has an admin level account on your website actually needs that level of access. Because like I said, admins can delete other admins, and that would suck if, usually a hacker or a virus will make an admin account on your WordPress site. So you can just check quickly, make sure that you know all those people. Make sense?
Yes. And now my head is spinning because, not only the admins, but it's what about ex-employees? Virtually every company, I would say, has an ex-employee on there who's an admin.
Yeah, you want to obviously make this kind of part of your modus operandi when somebody leaves your company. If they had access to any of this stuff, you got to delete it right away, because they will possibly, anyway, they could do a lot of damage. And it sucks to have to go and recover all that stuff. It's mostly doable, but the access might not be. So the access stuff, you want to make sure, because I can go in and delete, for example, a WordPress page, and then I can just go back and recover it. It's like a two-step process. Not that big of a deal. But if my access to that WordPress site is deleted, then I'm screwed.
Yeah. And what if that admin decides to just publish all your customer information?
Yeah, all that stuff. So lastly, on your website, you want to go through and look at the plugins and the theme that is installed. So if you've been working with an agency, in all likelihood, they might have installed plugins on your site that they generally like. And most of the time, they will have paid for those plugins. And so most of those plugins are subscription services. So when that subscription runs out, it could affect your website in a bad way. So you want to make sure that you have those subscriptions connected to your credit card and not your agency's card, right? So that could also apply to hosting services or registration from registrar for your website. That kind of stuff, you want to make sure that it only connects to someone's company card, not the agency, because the agency can just turn it off.
Heck
right?
Yeah. Why would they keep paying for it?
Exactly. But there are plenty of people, I know, we have clients come on and they're like, yeah, I say, hey, that theme was purchased and it has to be purchased every year. And they go, huh? That was by whatever designer or whatever agency.
Yeah, what
and
are you talking about?
Yeah, well, you don't pay them anymore. So we need to get your credit card on that. And so once they hear that, they understand. So it is about consolidating access and security. So that way, moving forward, your company is safe.
Okay.
There you go. That's all I got.
All right. I need a nap after all that.
There was a lot.
Wow. That was a lot.
Yeah.
And just the tip of the iceberg as normal. So holy moly.
Good.
Well, good. Well, if you have a question about this topic or any other topic, make sure to go to our Magnified Media page, click on the podcast button, and then there's a little tiny magnifying glass. And if you click on that magnifying glass, you'd be able to search for any topic that Adam has covered over the last 5 years. So it's a really great service that Adam's providing at no charge. We don't have any advertisers, Adam, yet. And so we want to make sure that this continues, keeps Adam interested, and new topics. There's never seems to be a shortage of new topics. So plus, if wherever you're listening to this, Spotify, iTunes, if you can leave a 2 or 3 sentence review and a 5 stars or thumbs up, or share the podcast out with any of your business associates, Chamber of Commerce, BNI Group, LATIP, everyone in the group will get something out of this podcast. So the more downloads we get, the more it encourages us to keep doing these podcasts. So with that, we will talk to you next week. Thank you again, Adam.
All right.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of Local SEO in 10 with Google local marketing expert Adam Duran. Join us each week for answers to your questions on how to best harness the power of the internet to grow your business. Speaking of questions, got some? Message us through our Facebook page, Local SEO in 10, and we'll be sure to give you your answer on an upcoming episode. This episode of Local SEO in 10 is brought to you by Magnified Media, the leading online marketing agency in Northern California, who invite you to grow your business by magnifying your online visibility and credibility. Visit them on the web at www.magnifiedmedia.com. Magnify your business, magnify your profits.